In Briar Hollow, nothing ever really disappeared. News traveled faster than the river that cut through town, and people still talked about things that happened decades ago, as if they were yesterday. So when Emily Carter, the night shift nurse at Briar Hollow Medical Center, failed to show up for work on a fog-heavy Tuesday morning, the absence felt loud. Emily was dependable in the way people rarely notice until it's gone. She baked muffins for the ER staff on holidays, checked in on elderly patients long after her shift ended, and never missed Sunday dinner at her parents' house. At 34, she lived alone in a small blue house near the woods, content, or so everyone believed. When police entered her home that afternoon, they found no signs of forced entry. Her purse sat on the kitchen counter. Her car was still in the driveway. The bed looked slept in, sheets rumpled as if she'd risen in a hurry. It was as though Emily had stepped outside for a moment and simply never returned. The town latched onto the simplest explanation: a random act of violence. The woods nearby had always made people uneasy, and outsiders occasionally passed through on the highway. Investigators canvassed the area, questioned truck drivers, searched the forest. Search dogs lost her scent near the road, reinforcing the idea that someone had taken her. But the longer Emily stayed missing, the less the random theory held. Detective Laura Mendel noticed the details others overlooked. Emily's phone records showed frequent late-night calls, not to family or coworkers, but to a prepaid number. Her bank statements revealed small, regular cash withdrawals. And tucked inside a cookbook on the kitchen shelf, Mendel found an envelope filled with handwritten notes, fragments of thoughts, half-finished sentences, and one line underlined twice: "I can't keep living two lives." As the investigation deepened, Briar Hollow's image of Emily began to fracture. At the hospital, a colleague admitted Emily had been anxious for months. She'd jumped at sudden noises, flinched when her phone buzzed. A former patient recalled running into her in the next town over, where Emily'd looked startled, almost afraid to be recognized. Then came the revelation that shifted the case entirely. Emily had been involved in a secret relationship. She never made it to that meeting. Mark Ellison became the primary suspect, though there was no physical evidence tying him to Emily's disappearance. His alibi was thin, but technically solid. He'd been home the night Emily vanished, according to his wife. Still, detectives pressed. Under scrutiny, cracks formed. Cell phone tower data placed Mark near Emily's house in the early hours of the morning she disappeared, something he initially denied. When confronted, he claimed he'd driven by to clear his head, unable to sleep. Investigators found that explanation insufficient, but still circumstantial. The real break came months later, not from forensic science, but from grief. Emily's younger sister, Hannah, sorting through stored belongings, found a flash drive taped beneath a dresser drawer. On it was a video Emily had recorded days before she vanished. She looked exhausted, eyes rimmed red, voice steady but fragile. "If anything happens to me," Emily said, "it won't be an accident. I tried to end it, but he won't let me go." She never said Mark's name. She didn't have to. Confronted with the video, Mark's wife recanted her statement. She admitted Mark had left the house that night, returning just before dawn, shaken and silent. Faced with mounting pressure, Mark eventually confessed, not to murder, but to a confrontation gone wrong. He claimed Emily threatened to expose the affair, to tell the town everything. They argued outside her home. She tried to walk away. He grabbed her arm. She fell, struck her head on the edge of the porch steps. Panicked, terrified of losing everything, Mark made a choice that couldn't be undone. He hid her body in a remote area, near an abandoned quarry, a place he knew well from firefighting training. When Emily's remains were finally recovered, Briar Hollow gathered in silence. There were no protests, no shouting, just a collective reckoning. The town mourned not only Emily, but the illusion that they had truly known one another. At her memorial, nurses lined the back wall in uniform. Patients sent letters. Her sister read a passage from one of Emily's notes, voice trembling but resolute. "Being quiet kept the peace. Telling the truth would have set me free." In the end, Emily Carter's disappearance didn't just expose a crime. It revealed how easily a community can mistake familiarity for understanding, and how secrets, when left to fester, can be just as deadly as violence itself.